I want to take you inside a moment that many caregivers know but rarely talk about. You're sitting at the table, you're trying to be calm, you're staring at every movement, and inside you feel a mix of fear, hope, exhaustion. And you may think to yourself, why is this so hard? Why does every meal feel like a battleground? But inside your loved one, something very different is happening. For many strugglers, eating doesn't feel like nourishment. It feels like fear. They're losing control. Something bad may happen, even if everyone knows there's nothing wrong. And when caregivers begin to understand their inner experience, your tone, timing, and response may begin to shift. Let me give you words that many strugglers describe even though they can't say it out loud. Before the meal, I know I should eat, but I'm scared. I don't know if I can do this. What if it makes me feel like I'm losing control and I disappoint everybody? I want to get better. I just don't know if I can because I can't handle how this feels. The anxiety often begins long before the first bite. And during the meal, it may look like they're feeling watched. This is too much food. They want to stop. They feel trapped. They hate the feeling. And they do want to get better, but they want it to end. They don't want this feeling to last forever. And here's what's important for caregivers to realize: what looks like resistance for them is really just fear. It's not stubbornness. It's not defiance. It's just fear. Understanding this does not mean you have to remove structure, but it may change how you respond from fighting to giving them steady containment. Now, let's talk about the phase many caregivers are least prepared for, which is after the meal. For many strugglers, they say that this is the hardest part. That feeling of fullness, they can't breathe, they just want to tear their skin off, they regret eating, they feel ashamed, they totally feel out of control. And the fullness is not just physical, they can actually feel this frightening, overwhelming emotion. And caregivers think, we got through the meal, now is why is everything falling apart? Because after the meal, this phase is still really considered the meal. And when you understand this phase mostly, you won't be surprised anymore, and your emotions themselves will start feeling steadier. So let's talk about something important as you understand your loved one. You're going to have to understand yourself. That meals don't challenge only the struggler, they challenge you. There are moments when you may feel like screaming yourself and you feel helpless, and moments when your patience are gone, and moments that your heart is racing and your mind feels overwhelmed. And that's so human. But here is something powerful. When you regulate your own emotions, you are not only helping the meal, but you're teaching your loved ones that emotions can be felt without losing control. When they see that you're staying steady and not exploding, when they see you breathe instead of panic, and when they see that you hold structure instead of becoming chaotic, you are modeling emotional regulation in real time for them. You're showing them that emotions can rise and you can still survive. Discomfort can exist without being destructive, and intensity can be felt without losing control. And many strugglers learn emotional regulation not from being told, but from watching someone live it. Now, let's talk about another piece. Sometimes caregivers hold on to everything during the meal and then feel fluttered afterwards. So, here is what often helps: the meal is for structure. And after the meal is where we can express ourselves. After things settle down, you may want to say in a conversation on the side, that meal was like hard for me too. We were both overwhelmed and we were both scared, but we really did get through it together. And this allows emotions to be expressed in a regulated way, not unleashed in these dysregulated moments. And remember this: you have more control than you think, even in your most vulnerable moment. You don't need perfection, you just need steadiness. Understanding your loved one's inner experience and learning how to regulate your own is super powerful. But it's only one piece. The full structure includes preparing for that emotional buildup before the meal, staying steady during the meal, and stabilizing your emotions and all the waves they go through after the meal. When caregivers understand all of these phases and what people are experiencing, meals begin to feel less like a battleground and more just like a process. They're not easy, but they're understandable and they're more manageable. This is why I created the Dietitian Made the Menu Now What? Because families are often giving this meal plan, but never the structure to navigate the emotional reality at meals. Inside my course, I guide you step by step before the meal, during the meal, and after the meal, so you can understand what's happening to regulate your own responses and bring more steadiness and calm into the hardest part of recovery. This course is not a replacement for your medical or clinical team, but just a supportive tool in the daily moments when families feel alone. If this resonated with you, you can learn more by clicking the link below. And remember, your loved one is not fighting you. They're fighting their own fear. They're fighting their own illness. You don't need perfect meals. You just need steady ones, and steady can be learned. Once again, my name is Iris Epstein, and if the Nutrition Improvement Center could be of any assistance to you, please click the link below and we could help. See you in the next video.